Hello and welcome to Tonalist Paintings by M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting we are doing today is River at Dawn, and it's a 5x7 study for a larger painting that we will be talking about next week that has the same title but is an 11x14. So these are the last two we did, the 5x7 and 1622 River at Dusk. Very similar. You might notice it's the same scene that's a bit flipped and different colors. Not so much the same scene as the same tree and river. Yes, except this is in a vertical format, whereas the other is in a horizontal format. Now, I did these paintings right before going on vacation, and this is a painting. It's hanging up in my studio currently. Actually, this one is not. I'm sorry. The 11x14 is. And I was super happy with the way the 11x14 came out, and I guess we'll talk a bit about that next week. So here we are. 2 days in a row. You guys are getting extra bonus whatevers, and want to give a big shout out to all my viewers on YouTube. I just hit 100 subscribers. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, it's taken a long time to get there, and I'm happy to have you guys on board, and I'm happy that you're finding some value in the content, and yeah, just keep coming back, because I've got a lot of videos, and I'm kind of, I guess, a bit obsessive compulsive, you might say. I like to videotape my work, and so like I was saying the other week, you know, at one point I was at a real crossroads. Do I share these videos out, or just, you know, keep filling up hard drive space with them? And I decided, what the heck, we'll be open and share, and that's what we've been doing. Now, any of you that might be interested in a more slowed down version at a higher res, I would be happy to provide that to you for a minimal cost. I'll put that out there. How much, I don't know, but it'd probably be in somewhere in the range of, you know, $10 or something like that. So, you know, there are ways to slow down the videos while they're on YouTube, and we upgraded our resolution about 2 months ago for you, so there's a certain amount of detail there, and certainly enough to glean what I'm up to. But like I said, if you're ever interested in seeing I guess it's 1080 by whatever the heck, it's big, you know, high def. If you ever want to see a high def version at a slower speed, like I said, just contact me. So how's it going in the studio? That's what you want to know. Well, it's been going okay. I completed a bunch of 5x7s, I guess, week before last, and last week, and a bit of the week before, I was working on I decided 5 of those 5x7s I would do, and so I eliminated about 3, which I feel really good about and really positive, and I'm going to try and continue to do that sort of thing so that I can bring up the overall quality of my work and my larger work. I don't really mind having a plethora of 5x7s around. Doesn't bother me. You know, they go much quicker than the larger paintings, so you know, if they don't get realized as larger paintings, it's okay, and I'm happy to sell them, or, you know, store them, or what have you, until the day comes when there's a use for them. So last week I was basically finished up the last of the first pass and the last 2 or 3 scenes of this 5, and started doing my second pass. And as I told you guys, I'm limiting myself to 2 color passes on a painting now, because sometimes it's hard to do that. There are times I will go in for a third. There's one I just photographed last night that I went in and did a real solid third pass on, but that's only if, you know, I really absolutely see things that I need to do. Otherwise, I'm trying to leave the paintings alone, let them breathe. And the problem with working the stuff too much is that it just gets tighter and tighter, and it doesn't get better. And this videos has been really helpful for me, that as far as that goes, because there's lots of times I can see in the video, oh, that was fine, that was done, and then I just keep going. I load it up again and start softening. And for me, what happens in that third pass is everything gets more soft, because I have this tendency and a proclivity to do dry brushing. While it's very effective and awesome technique, when it goes too far, the whole painting becomes very, very soft. So we want to avoid that and just do just the right amount. Just like cooking. Salt. Food without salt sucks, but food with too much salt, it's not edible. You don't want to eat it. So I think I probably got about, I got my second pass done on a good 3 paintings, and unfortunately this next week coming up, I've been summoned for jury duty, and yes, for the first time in my life, actually, I've been in a position where I could even afford to go to jury duty, but I'm going to go, and hopefully it won't be too great of a disruption to my studio practice, because I'm always, well, I guess I'm driven. I just want to get the paintings out and have them be good, and it's an ongoing, all-consuming process, and it has been for a long time, but I'd say the last 2 or 3 years I've really ramped it up, and to the point in the last 2 years I really haven't done much of my second sort of thing that I'm really good at, which is music. And the reason for that is doing things like these blogs and these videos and all of the prep work that goes into the paintings, and then as well the prep work that goes into cleaning up my own photographs of my paintings, and then generating new paintings to do reference for new paintings. It just goes on and on, and I don't know. I'm sure maybe this next year I'll get it together. And actually, I have a big museum show coming up here in Whangarei in about 8 months or so. So maybe I'll take that after I finish that off. I might take that as a sign to slow down a little, and maybe get some more music made. But ultimately, I'm actually just as good at music as I am at art, to be honest, but I don't see the world really needing the music so much as the art. And the thing I like about art is it's not dependent on, well, especially I like about actual physical paintings as opposed to, say, digital art. In a scenario where the power's off, the painting's still there. Will you be able to listen to my recording of music? No. So it's got a bit more like stick-to-itiveness, I guess. It's going to be here, and that's what I'm very attracted to about the producing the paintings, is they're going to be here. They're going to be here after I'm long gone, At best, I have another 50 years here, and more likely it's like 25 or 20, or who knows what. It could be one more day if I get hit by a car when I go out grocery shopping today. You never know. So, and you get to a certain age, like if you're young, you're listening to say, you think you're going to live forever, but and you don't care what you draw, you don't care what you do. But when you get to be my age, which is in my early 50s, you start thinking about what you're going to leave behind, what sort of legacy is going to be here, and what's going to represent your existence here, and you want it to be something good, something beautiful. And in my case, I want there to be plenty of it, plenty of good paintings there, and not even so much for my own ego or anything like that. It's like I get a lot of positive strokes now. People come to my studio, they tell me my work's beautiful, and they buy it and things like that, and it feels good. But ultimately, what feels really good is producing a painting that you think is just nice, and you're happy with it. You're happy to look at it, and it's going to be around after you're not. So we all have to pick our things we care about, and that's what I picked quite a while back, and I'm in it, with both feet. And if you're a painter, I recommend hooking into that same level of passion. That's the thing that will drive your work and get you better. And there's always going to be somebody else out there better, or somebody else out there. When I look at a work like of John Francis Murphy or George Inness or Charles Warren Eaton, I go, oh my God, I'd never do anything that great. But sometimes I get close, and who's to say if I keep at it, I might, at least be able to equal their accomplishments. It's worth trying. It's a good fight, and I'm fighting it. Anyway, like I said, we've been into the 25 days of tonalism, so hopefully you're checking that out. This is sort of our regular flow where we're doing my own work, and this is, like I said, a 5x7 river at dawn. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at me paint this little study, and stay tuned next week. We're going to do the 11x14, and that's a pretty cool painting. I think you'll like it a lot. So, like I say, we're getting close to the end here. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like to check out more of my work, go to landscapepainter.co.nz. There's my blog. There's some paintings. Have a blast there. And I will be back next week. So meanwhile, take good care and stay out of trouble.